This is Soji here with a few guests today, and we are live in exactly 2 seconds. I've got a few guests with me today. We're going to be discussing the Spurs transfer window in January. A lot of stuff went on, and we will be back on the other side. And in the meantime, we'll say, come on, you Spurs. Wow.
There you go.
Wow, wow, wow. I don't know what's going on there, but welcome to ComeonyespursTV. I don't know if you can hear me. Um, we have tonight. Right. Welcome back. Technology has gone mad tonight, and as usual with live streams, these things happen, But I've got a few guests. Some people are joining us a little bit late, but we'll join them in a few seconds. But in the meantime, right, I've got Ben with me. I've got Chuma. How are you guys? You guys good?
Yeah, we're good. Good. Pleased to be here.
I know. I mean, Chuma. There are rumors flying about your new affiliation and your leanings have caused a lot of consternation in the ranks.
I am, I
We'll,
am,
we'll,
I am,
we'll look at that in a few minutes. Right. Tell me,
I am super good.
Ben,
Yeah,
how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. It's a pleasure to be sitting next to Darth Vader.
My screen seems to have frozen, or is that me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you guys hear me?
Think everything seems to be so slow today. I don't know what's going on with this
Frozen.
platform thing. It seems to be doing its own bits. Right,
You're frozen. You're all frozen on my screen, but I
yeah,
don't. I can hear
we
you.
are.
I'm frozen as well on my screen, but I can hear you guys loud and clear. I don't know if you guys can see me from home, and they can hear us as well. But yeah,
We'll continue.
we just continue. Right. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, guys, now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
very
back.
well.
Yeah, it looks like we're unfrozen now.
We're
Yes.
back. We're back.
Let me try to bring in Yinka in the meantime, but you guys keep talking. Come, let's have a look. We've got Spurs took part in the transfer window like every other team, right? Now, it
For
seems like
once.
we didn't do a lot of work or we didn't do plenty of business in the transfer window, but for some reason, um, it didn't look too bad in the end. I mean, considering how things panned out, we seem to have had one main target. That main target we got in the end. We had on paper, I mean, according to rumors, we had some other people who were targeted, but they didn't actually materialize in the end. Talk us through that, Chuma. I mean, I know you have a lot of views on these things.
Yeah. It was for me. Like the two players we got were players I would have gotten for Spurs. You know, players like Pedro Porro and Arno Danjuma. Can you hear me? I keep hearing a sound. Sorry,
Yeah, I
not sure
can
if
hear
you
you.
can.
Yeah, loud and clear. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I would have gotten those two players. It took a very long time for Pedro Porro's um, transfer to come true, and it was almost everyone was saying it was triple paperwork, administration fee. It was literally like trying to register a company in Nigeria. It was just one of those things, long and protracted. And but we finally got the transfer over the line. But I think they're two very good players. And first game again in the cup, Ano Danjuma gets off the mark. I expected him to. I actually typed it to friends that Danjuma comes on. Danjuma is scoring. So yeah, it was a good window. It could have been better if I felt if they'd gotten maybe a centre back as well. But there's so many things we wished for, but these two address issues that we have currently outside of defense.
Looks like he's gone again, but yeah. But let's wait for him to return. Right. We've got two players. The positions we filled essentially front line, and also we filled the right back position. But that created a problem for us. I mean, at that point in time, having four right backs, it then meant that we had to shift at least a couple of those right backs if we wanted to sort of keep the two in a position type ratio you had for the rest of the squad. Now that's in itself has, I mean, meant there was a lot of drama towards the end. I mean, you had Jed Spence go out on loan to Reign, and then on the last day we had Mr. Doherty going on first on loan, and then it turned out to be a permanent transfer where his contract was cancelled. Ben, now that was a bizarre one, and I know that's I mean, Spurs are full of drama when it comes to things like this. Some people came up with all sorts of conspiracy theories as to how that could have come about. But hey, talk us through it.
Well, which one you talk? When you say conspiracy, you talking about the Doherty or the whole window?
Well, let's talk about Doherty, for instance. Let's start with Doherty. I mean, before we.
Yeah, I'm genned up on Doherty. Doherty's case was a funny one, to be fair. At first, he was going to go out on loan, and then some smart aleck thought, "Oh shoot, we can't do more than 8 international transfers, so we're going to have to talk to him about actually going there permanently and leaving Spurs." So to say there was a mix-up, I mean, Spurs actually say. They want us to know that they knew about it all this time, but I don't think so. I don't think many people knew about this rule. I think it's a new rule as well. So maximum of 8, and if you count them up on your fingers, you find that we had 8, and he would have been 9. So they had to cancel the contract. But the problem for Spurs is that it seems now that this Porro, the acquisition of Porro, has caused us immense heartache because we've lost out on maybe 5 million that we could have sold Doherty for at the end of the season. That's the first thing. Second thing is that we had to pay his salary out because his contract is only up until the end of the season, and yet with Atleti, but with us it was till next year. So they have to probably pay up his contract to make sure he's okay after
well,
Atleti contract.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, I'm not sure that's what happened in that case. I mean, I don't know why that would be the case because, I mean, unless they kind of reach some sort of compromise, I don't know what the terms of that deal were. I mean, are you saying that
you wouldn't do it? No, there's no footballer on earth that's you can sit down in Spurs and pick up his salary at the end of 2024. So the reason why he's gone, he wouldn't just go just to play football. It actually goes well to make sure that come July, he's not going to be jobless. I don't think he would do that.
That's why he's got a contract with Atletico. I mean, he's not going to sit down after. It's not going to play with Atletico, so it's not like he's.
No. So I get what he's saying. They had to pay up the rest of his contract to end it. So they have to pay everything up until the end of the season to end the contract. To mutually terminate your contract, they have to pay you the rest, all the months leading to the end.
Well,
so they are paid him is.
We don't know the deal. We assume that's what's going to happen. Yeah, is that correct?
But that was the language used, was mutually terminated. Once they say mutually terminated, it means that
both of you agreed to terminate, but on what terms? You don't know what the terms of that mutual termination are. You can go, but for no money. Okay, fine. I'll go for no money.
No, who would go for no money? I wouldn't go. Would you?
No, knowing Daniel Levy.
Yeah, but think about it. Right? Hold on. Let's sort of hold on for a few seconds, right? You're not going to you're not going to go and not get paid. You're going to get paid in your new team. You're going to sign a contract with your new team, so it's not like you're going to be unemployed. So, what's the problem?
6 months. You're only employed for 6 months. Don't you get it, Soji? He's Atleti have given him a contract to the end of the season.
For 6 months.
Then he still had another season at Spurs. So who's going to pay that? Get me?
Okay.
You feel me?
Yinka, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I know you joined us a little bit late, but hey, welcome. It's good to see you. How are you? Yinka, can you hear us?
Frozen. We're all frozen.
Oh, Yinka, can you hear us?
Frozen as well.
It looks like it's frozen. Oh, wow.
Looking dangerous, though.
Say again?
He's looking dangerous, though, in his frozen picture.
Looking dangerous.
Yinka, can you hear us? Oh, my God. If you're joining us for the first time, this is ComeonyespursTV. Leave your comments, like the page, share this with your family, friends, and those of your loved ones. Yes, we are discussing the transfer window, and we're trying to give a verdict on how we think things went. Plenty of drama during the course of this window. I mean, I know that a lot of people felt that Spurs maybe could have done things a little better in terms of the speed at which Mr. Poro came in, and B, the fact that all the drama that took place on the last day. I mean, there was a time when the deal was on, and then it was off, and then it was on, and then it was off. You know, no one really knew what was happening. You know,
Wait.
Yinka, you're back. Can you hear us now?
Hey, how you doing, guys? Yeah, I'm back in the game.
Hey, how you go?
It sounds like anyway.
Oh, fantastic.
Hi, Mr. Chuma. Hi, Mr. Ben.
Hi, Yinka.
Hello, sir.
Super. I'm now.
Our great host,
I'm now
Dodgy. How you doing?
I'm very well.
Yeah. I don't know whether I'm frozen like Sanchez in the back four when it comes to corners, so I don't know whether you have to hold him with me.
That's harsh. That's harsh.
That's a low blow. That is a low blow.
On this stream right now, you know. But yeah, good to be here. Good to be here. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's
we call him Fridge in these parts.
Sorry guys about these technical challenges we're facing today. I don't know what's going on. It's a new software upgrade on our system.
Right. The stream is just Spursy, that's all. It don't matter about that. They all understand. Our wonderful loyal support will understand that the stream just got a bit Spursy today, that's all.
That's okay. Right. Tell us the drama we had on the last day. All the stuff leading up to the transfer. I mean, it was just an absolute mess in a way, you know. But there seems to be always a method to the madness. There was first the rumor that Poro wasn't coming, and then it was coming, and then Mr. Levi taking over the transfer negotiations. So much going on. Who knows the truth of what happened?
I've got a little bit of a theory. And I've been listening to my esteemed gentleman in regards of the contract situation with Pura. I call him Pedro Pony. For those that have seen Peppa Pig will understand. But but basically, we've been dealing with Sporting for a couple of seasons now in regards to if you remember, like last January or a couple of Januaries before, I think it was 21 season, we went in to get Gledson Fernandez. We got the wrong Fernandez. We were supposed to get the one at Man United, and we ended up with Gledson. And we were supposed to get him on a, I think it was a loan with not an obligation. Like, you know, there's two types of obligation to buy. There's an obligation to buy, and then there's another one that you can buy if things work out. But yeah. the fee that
to buy one was an obligation to buy, one was just an option to buy.
Yeah, that's correct, and that's what we had with Gledson.
Sorry. Jetson came from Benfica.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, but what I was trying to say in regards to that is that
same country.
What was happening with Marcus Edwards. And we sold him Marcus Edwards, and I think they just got bitten with that. And Sporting didn't like the way that we came to them originally in the first place. And I think that was something that was holding over Tottenham in regards to the way that we were dealing with Sporting. I think there was a bit of once bitten, twice shy with them, and they weren't as maybe forthcoming with the negotiations. I mean, we hear the stories of the 2.5 million fee. I don't know, like contract fee or whatever it was that they didn't want to pay for, and I think that was one of the stumbling blocks. I mean, Levy was always going to get the guy if he, once he stepped in, he was always going to get Pura. It was just a matter of time in regards to how we could renegotiate the deal to make them happy.
Well, we got a guy in the end, didn't we?
No, we did, but does anyone in the back of their mind? Does anyone in the back of their mind think that? Sorry, Sorry, one moment. Go wait. Hello, guys.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Yes, I had to just take down some background noise. That was a We Are Tottenham TV. That is a rival station that I didn't want to be listening, that people listening on while we're talking here. So, but we're all one family, though. Anyway, we're all one family. But yeah, what I was trying to explain is that Tottenham and Sporting, we'd had some history in our dealings in the past, and I think that may have told in regards to the slowness in getting that deal done. But we got there in the end. I think there was a lot to sacrifice for it, as the gentlemen were mentioning in regards to Doherty and Spence. I mean, Spence is eventually freed. He's now at Rennes. I want him to smash it. I actually want him to smash it at Rennes. I actually want him to do really well there, to just show that if he's given an opportunity, what he can do. So it's really interesting to see what he'll come up with there. But yeah, that was my case in point. Just a quick one. I'm going to throw this one to you guys. Yeah, I'm going to throw this one to you guys really quickly. In the days that we were fumbling around with this Pedro Pony deal, Cancelo came available at Man City on loan.
Nope.
Wasn't it not around that same few days, around that time, with the disagreement with Guardiola, and then Guardiola keeping him out to we have been able to take Cancelo?
No, I don't think so. Pedro Porro originally belongs to Man City. So the Marcus Edwards deal, they've got the same deal with Pedro Porro. So Pedro Porro is a product of their youth academy. They got him from Spain when he was like 14 or 15. They loaned him to Girona in Spain. He played very well, brought him back, and then sold him. But they kept I think they've made money. So the reason Sporting pushed for the fee is because Man City gets a cut. So that's one. The second part is this. At the start of this season, Sporting had like 3 main stars, or 3 guys who were standouts. Midfielder called Palhinha, who's playing for Fulham now, and Matheus Nunes, who is a brilliant midfielder that's playing for Wolves, might leave Wolves at the end of the season. Watch this space. Right? So these are their stars. But those 2 guys, their contracts were running down. So they ended up selling them for less than they should have. And the coach was really, really, really like miffed. Amorim, who is up and coming Portuguese coach. And it was miffed, like, you're destroying my team. So with Porro, they said there is no way they will sell this guy without getting the full money for him. Now, the problem with the Spurs thing was, Spurs, of course, came and offered them little money, or less money, not little, but less money. So the cut going to Man City would have been disastrous for them. Then secondly, they're trying to manipulate their books, because everyone's trying to stay, well, everyone apart from Chelsea is trying to say FFP compliant. So they're trying to, so many things, there are so many things there financially that they needed to get 42.5 million or above 40 million euros, because Man City get their cut. So they still want to have like 30 or something million there. Then they also want to push it into next year's financials and stuff like that. Hence the reason at the end, we styled it as a quote unquote loan. Spurs had the money, but they styled it as a loan. And yeah, so it's a lot of things. I get what you're saying. In fact, and then we gave up a percentage of Marcus Edwards as well. We had
That's
50% sell on. It's now 30. It's now 35.
35.
So they took back
Yeah.
15. So yeah, so it's now 35. So that was in it. That was Daniel Levy coming in the last minute to say what's going on, because they also wanted Spurs to pay the admin fee for the transfers, which was 2.5 million. But then the real thing that rocked it was, if it shows up in this year's financials, it wrecks their FFP
FFP.
compliancy. So they had to like move. Yeah, so they had to move so many things. In terms of Cancelo, loads of my friends are saying, well, Spurs should show like, they're an elite team for going. Cancelo would never join Spurs. All due respect, he would never join Spurs. And two, his wages, he earns more or probably on a par with Kane.
Well,
Daniel Levy doesn't do that.
Apparently, he earns
And we are notoriously
375.
not good at paying wages.
Sorry?
Apparently, he earns
Yeah,
I say you're
375.
correct. We're notoriously not good at paying wages at Tottenham.
Yeah,
Well,
Spurs'
that's not
cap
true.
is
That's not true. That's untrue. That's
No.
defamatory of
Compared
Spurs.
to the top
No, Spurs'
teams,
cap,
compared to the
Spurs'
top
cap
six.
is 200. So Spurs' cap is 200, but they have add-ons. So the way Daniel Levy plays the game, it's something that Arsenal actually pioneered. Dennis Bergkamp was the highest paid player in this country for years, and no one knew, because they'd found a way to do these secret add-ons, and Daniel Levy's learned or copied the style and even made it better, where Harry Kane looks like he's on 200 grand, but Harry Kane is on more, because there are all these built-in add-ons to the thing. But even with built-in add-ons, like Soji just said now, he's on like 300, 375, right? Something like 300.
Oh.
He's above our wage cap. For whatever our wage cap
Yeah.
be, he's above that. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the explanation. I appreciate that. I'm sure our viewers and myself have learned a little bit more in regards to the background behind the dealings of getting it over the line. And yes, it does seem like, that Sporting were playing hardball for good reason now, in regards to not wanting to let Puro go cheaper than the other talent that they've had come through. I mean, you hear of the Premier League literally bankrolling the whole of European football.
That's true. Very true.
I can see no European team now not taking any less than what their buyout clauses are or what their market rate is. I don't think there's going to be any cheap deal that any team is willing to do with the Premier League team, because they know that they have cash. Or, well, not in Levy's case, loan.
800 million in January. 800 million plus
It's
in
ridiculous.
January.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Yeah. And 90% of that was Chelsea.
5%, They got. I hear they got 6 players in every position now. They got 6 players for every position now.
I hear they have to increase their changing room to fit them all in.
Yeah,
Like NFL changing room such for 40-man squad, 50-man squad.
They use a home and away changing room at the moment. So
Yeah,
if you come to play against,
some reconstruction there.
Right. So, I mean, overall, okay, so we had Jet Spence leave. We had a young man go to Atletico, contract was cancelled. There's some debate going on about how that contract was negotiated to effect the cancellation at the last minute. It's believed that he got a payoff. And yeah, so that's how that went. But we did bring in another young player who is meant to be a really hot shot, for an undisclosed fee from Chelsea. And
we've got a Jude, not the Bellingham, not Jude Bellingham, but we've got a Jude Devon nonetheless. Yeah.
Jude Bell.
Yeah.
Jude Bell. We've got halfway there. We're almost there. We just need INGHAM.
We don't need ING.
I know, right? But apparently he's a prospect for the future. And yeah,
no, he's Yeah, he's a brilliant kid. Like 2 years ago, the guy was smashing. He was smashing in goals like right, left, and center. Then he got injured,
Apparently,
and
yes.
yeah, his progress. Yeah, his progress stalled for a bit, and then he now looked at Chelsea, and you know what Chelsea? Everyone knows what Chelsea is doing. Like they are willing to buy if we decide to put ourselves on the market. Todd Bowley is going to take a punt at buying any one of us as well. That's how it's going. His path is completely blocked because everyone
Uh,
forgets that Chelsea has as well. Chelsea has at least eight or nine players out on loan as well right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone forgets that Chelsea have the same kind. So his path is blocked. But at Spurs, he has a better chance of, you know, he's looking at people like Dane Scarlett. He's on that Dane Scarlett level as well, in my opinion. He's a very, very smart player. And if he can rediscover his form and everything, keeps his head down, you never quite know what he's capable of. So he came in, and then for me, I think because of Pedro Porro, everyone's overlooking Arno Danjuma, and I honestly, I'm so pleased Danjuma is at Spurs. But people don't
I'm
understand
telling
why.
you,
But I'm like,
guys.
I've been a fan.
Timo, I agree with
I've been
you,
a fan of that
guys.
guy for years.
You know what? You know who he reminds me of in the first few minutes? Who you remind me of? Do you remember Stefan Dalmat that we got on loan one time, one January window? Stefan Dalmat.
Yeah.
Similar
Yes.
type of winger that is very forward thinking, likes to get around the. I don't know. It was just something of that type of energy that I was getting from him. So I really do like that. It's an opportunity. I mean,
No,
we
I'll give you another player. I'll give you another player.
Go ahead.
So you said Stefan Dalma. So Stefan Dalma mixed with Nasser Chadli,
Right.
a more efficient Nasser Chadli.
Yeah. Yes. But I think it's important for that position as well. Son needs a little bit of either rest, competition, or someone that can come in as well. So I think it might benefit Son in some way, or give him that competition that he needs a little bit.
Right. So with Danjuma, I mean, he's played in the Premier League before. He's played for Bournemouth.
Cherry.
So he had quite a bit of experience, and he's going off to Villarreal, and he did quite well even in the Champions League. Scored some good goals there, and yeah, he's got what might call a bit of a decent record, if you like. And coming into Spurs, okay, it looks like a fourth choice or maybe last resort if you think about it. In terms of what we've got in front line, we have in front we've got Kulichevsky, Richarlison, Son, Kane, and maybe okay, if we say in what you might call pecking order, if you like, we start with Kane, Son, Kulichevsky, Richie, and then him. Now, Brian Hill, who we had for a short, not for a short while, but he's maybe two spells with us. I mean, it ends up going away on loan to Sevilla to make way for Danjuma. Now, I thought Hill had started to do well. I mean, he sort of picked up towards the end of the transfer window. He came up with matches against Crystal Palace, did quite well. Didn't do too badly against what was the other team he faced? I think he played the FA Cup match. Yeah, and I thought he was going to be kept on, but clearly not. What do you guys think? I mean, was that a good move for us?
I'm upset, because Gillinan, he was just getting up to speed of the Premier League. I call him Gillian. like I called Lamella Pamela. I called Lamella Pamela. This one is Gillian. So this Gilly, yeah, he was getting up to speed. He was understanding the Premier League. He was there was one game he played against Preston. He done one move against Preston when he dropped the shoulder and he cooked two defenders in one go. He just dropped the shoulder. I said, this kid is getting it finally. That penny starting to drop. That. Yeah, again, the Preston North End, yeah. So
I'm just saying, Preston, Gillingham, Preston.
I know. Sorry to confuse anyone out there.
He's not EPL. He's not a Prem guy. He's not a Prem guy.
He was getting up to speed. And my thing is, if we were going to loan him, we should have loaned him to another Premier League team, like a Bournemouth, like a Southampton, like anyone but West Ham or Everton, so he can understand more the Premier League and get more minutes in the Premier League. What's the point of sending him back to Spain? He's done. He's done. Unfortunately, he looks like he's done it in Spurs.
Nobody wants him. He can't. He hasn't got the body for the Premiership. That's the issue. He should go to go to Spain and eat erba. When he is there, he will eat and bulk up. Do you remember what happened? Does anybody remember what happened? Does anybody remember what happened to this guy from Newcastle, the Newcastle striker? What was his name? He plays for freaking Reading now. I forget his name. But it was a phenomenal guy for Newcastle. Does anybody remember? Anyway, him.
No, it's not Andy. It's not Andy.
Andy Carroll. That's it. Andy Carroll was just.
It's not Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll. He was a waif of a guy, and then one season he came back and he's just big man. So that's what he needs. He needs to go and eat some steroids. Okay, well, and then come back. But he's too lightweight. He's no good for the Premiership, so he couldn't have gone to the Premiership team. That's why they sent him out to Spain.
But in saying that, is he lighter in weight than Phil Foden?
Or David Villa? Not David Silva, sorry.
David Silva. The issue is the kind of football that my whole thing was this. My whole thing with him was, look at what Kulusevski is doing. Can't you mimic it? That was what I saw. And then I said, it's impossible for him to mimic it because Kulusevski has league is either you do that or you're playing for a pretty tiki-taka team that you don't need to have physicality. Unfortunately, Antonio Conte and Conte ball is not tiki-taka. So there was no way. I watched him. In fact, what I said when I watched the boy play was, we should have kept Lamela. Lamela would have broken into this side easy under Conte. Lamela is the kind of Conte guy.
He's got that aggression. He's got that natural aggression that Conte would like.
Yeah, and he's a part of my language. He's a shithouse guy, and that's what you need in this league. Like, he does some dirty things, Pamela, dirty things, but gets you results, and the players already know him. He's skillful and he's a bad guy as well. This guy is a nice lightweight guy. As soon as you hit him, and he crunch him certain times, I watched him, he started avoiding certain defenders. If they come at him like 2 times heavy, he won't come back at you. And against those championship defenses, they were slower. They're not Premier League defenses. They don't press like the Prem do. So he got those little pockets of space. Well, against a City, all those guys, they'll close him down and they'll just say, you know what, tackle him 4 times and see what happens next. And unfortunate, like him also going to Seville is like the ultimate slap in Spurs' face because they paid us money for him and took and we're still paying his wages, exactly.
And we're still paying his wages. I imagine that
for me, we
just paid Sevilla for nothing.
No, it's not. That's not true. Okay, when Bale came to us, we paid some of his wages, and Real Madrid paid the rest. We don't. Yeah. So that means that when you go to a club, that club pays your wages.
Yeah, it's a percentage. It's a percentage thing.
Yeah. So we can't be paying his wages, like, because the way he said it was like we're paying all his wages.
No, we're not paying all his wages. No way. But Lydian's on about 100 grand a week. He's on about 100 grand a week. That kid. It's a big money,
Who is?
He's not.
Who's on 100 grand? Who's on 100 grand? No, he's not. There's no way.
He's not.
Brian Hill isn't
on
100 grand. He's
Go and look.
At best,
Go and look. Go on market transfer.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, I mean,
I wouldn't think he's on 100.
Right. So
he's on 40.
Hey,
He's on 40
He's
grand
on
a week.
40. Google's your friend. 40
He's on 40
Yinka.
grand a week.
Yinka.
I don't.
He's
I
on,
like
My
you.
he's
screen
on
is
the same
freezing.
money
I
as
can't
Oliver
use
Skip.
Google. I'm using imagination.
And what did you use? What did you use then? What did you use? If you
Got
didn't use Google, what did you
imagination.
Wait, hold on. Wait, no.
100 grand.
Oh, no, but see, the problem is you have to decide what you're using. So one says 40. I've just seen 83 here as well.
I rest my case.
Maybe you get it 100 grand in euros.
No.
I rest my case.
Okay, yeah, the 80K is euros, maybe.
This is from Tottenham website. 40K. The other one, a salary sport. The other one you're looking at is salary sport. That Fabu. That's not where Yinka get your own.
What about no, wait. What
Mr.
would you accept the Daily Mirror?
Mr. Ben, stop it. I beg you.
Will you accept the Daily Mirror? Ben, would you accept the Daily Mirror?
No, I would say Spurs.
Well, so Spurs is the right source, isn't it? I mean, so we've got to go to the source to get the right information. I mean,
Because of my bad estimation, I'm gonna try and swerve this question and put another one to you guys. Yeah.
okay.
So just to dodge my embarrassment, like a Brian Hill body swerve, I'm gonna give you guys a question. Now that we've got Jude from Chelsea and Abramovich is no longer on the board at Chelsea, do you think that we'll be doing more business with Chelsea with the amount of players that they've got overflowing in their squad? What do you think?
No,
Do you think
Arsenal,
that's...
No, Arsenal are going to buy all their players.
They sold us the youth player.
No, they're not the young ones. Arsenal only buy the old geriatric ones.
No, that's Arsenal. Arsenal have a pipe.
What's your opinion?
My thing is the two English clubs coming for Kane, in my opinion, are Manchester United and Chelsea. They're the two teams that they need a Harry Kane. Those two teams. So if we're doing business with Chelsea, which I don't think we will, they will come for Kane, and then we can get anybody else we want from them, but they will come for Kane. That's my view, and I don't think so. I think they gave us the guy because he's a kid, and they don't think he's going to amount to much, and they have enough kids coming through, and they have kids they bought from other clubs as well. I still think it's, and I don't know if you read the reports about the fact that the holding company that's paying the transfer fees for Chelsea is owned by Roman Abramovich. Did you read that?
Abramovich, I read it.
So he still owns the club. Guy is still controlling the club. He's just clandestine.
This guy.
You understand? He still has. It's his money. It's I asked everybody, where is that 1.5 billion? Where did it go? They said it disappeared. He forgave. No, he didn't forgive nothing. They wanted to give him back his money, and they found it. And Chelsea have used it. What Chelsea have done, though, we talk about Daniel Levy a lot, and a lot of people badmouth Daniel Levy, but Daniel Levy did something similar to this, and it cost him out. But Todd Bowley has taken Levyism to the next level by giving people 10 years. He's paying over 10 years. Like, that is genius. Like,
8-year contract,
but if it
7-year
goes wrong,
contract.
it's bad. If the player flops, it's a problem. If the player flops, it's a problem. That's the only downside, is you're left with those wages you organize and everything else. But in terms of that, it's really smart, and it's something, if they don't ban it, I see Daniel Levy taking advantage of it next year. Or
No, they're banning next season. Next season, they're going to limit you to 5 years.
They're going to ban it next
Yeah,
year.
you're right, Mr. Ben. FFP have to step in. FFP have to step in. They have to step in now, because it's
Okay.
because when you think about it, it's too much.
So we don't have the same sort of resources as the likes of Chelsea, the likes of City, lots of Newcastle, who are new in the fray now. I mean, with the Saudi Arabia money, and Liverpool on the fringes of having the FSG backing them, and Arsenal having Kroenke. Now, we don't have a sugar daddy. We don't have any big money backers apart from Mr. Lewis, who's not prepared to spend his money. They say, so if you want to be a millionaire, just become a billionaire and go and buy a football club.
Buy football. like the guy about to buy Sheffield United.
I know, right?
Buying Sheffield United,
I know. You've got that, but I mean, there's still some areas of our lineup that people still point to. Say we, because we're speaking off air, weren't we, Chuma, when we said you had that discussion with your friend who's a Chelsea fan and the United fan who said that, look, the problem with Spurs at this season is that we don't have any problem in our attack, but the major problem lies in the defense. And if you look at where we are now, that's where the major problem lies. So we look to have, dealt with the right side of the defense with Romero and hopefully Porro, and okay, center and the left begins to be the problem where that's where we need to either have reinforcements or some sort of way of ensuring that we get support in that area. Now, do you think we missed a trick not signing a left-sided center defender in this window, or we didn't have anyone of the sort of quality we're looking for who was available? Does anybody have any insight on that?
Yeah.
The center half position is the hard. So go on, Chuma.
No, sorry. I was going to say that we had two targets left center back, we had 3 targets left center back from the summer. Alessandro Bastoni, Josko Guardiola, and then Piero Hincapié of Bayer Leverkusen. These 3 guys, Hincapié was the cheapest, and we were stalling on the same thing that happened with Porro. We're doing with Bastoni. Bastoni took up so much time, and Josko Guardiola, I didn't think he would come because so many teams are also on him. And then him and Hincapié go to the World Cup and they have stunning World Cups. And now both of them are both valued at above 70 million, according to their clubs. But the Bayer Leverkusen player might be cheaper, but there was no way we were getting a quality left-sided centre back. It's impossible. However, there are a couple of guys whose contracts are running out. There's a guy who plays in Germany, a black guy, Evan Ndika, who we looked at. I think they could be trying to get him because that's Daniel Levy's favorite price, free. So I think they'll be trying to get guys on the free and stuff like that or summer, but no one. And I think Longley is going to start more games. I don't know why. I think Longley is going to start a lot more games now from this point.
So,
Good point.
you sorry, you were going to say something before Chuma came in.
My simple one is that the centre back position is some of the hardest positions to get transfers done in the January window, because teams don't really want to let go of centre backs because they know how hard it is to get one in to replace them. So it's just a knock-on effect where it's just a difficult, unless you're paying blowing the price out of the water, that some teams are just not going to be very difficult when coming to negotiate for their centre halves because they're such difficult positions to get back in again. Like to get another player in a matter of days is going to be very difficult for some teams. So I just think it was just simply a fact of it being one of the hardest positions to deal with during the January window.
Okay, Ben. Okay, let's look at what we have now. We've got Romero. We've got Dyer, and we've got Longley, and Sanchez comes in now and again. We've got Davis as well, who's on that side. And a lot of people have this constant go at Davis. For me, I don't think it's fair because I actually think Davis is a very good player. He's come up in leaps and bounds over the years, and why a lot of managers rate him tells you a lot about him, because if a lot of managers rate someone like Davis in quotes, that says a lot about his qualities, because for me, he's such a dependable player. He doesn't know frills. He's effective, he's committed, and he gives 110%. And he hardly makes errors. If you look across the line, he hardly ever makes errors. Okay, fine. He may not be the most flamboyant type player on the field, but he's effective, and I think that's what you want in the defense. Now, some people might say that he won't get in the top 6 team there won't get in the SOC 6 team, and that's why we're struggling the way we're struggling. I just think we just need that extra element on the left side. I mean, Perisic is okay, but he's getting on in age. So I mean, he can do the forward bits quite well. On the defensive side, maybe not as great as it could be. Mr. Sessegnon still can't cross the ball. He still can't cross the ball.
Regressing.
And which is a bit of a surprise. I thought he would go get. I mean, by now he would be like gone up in leaps and bounds. But like you said, he's regressing. So that creates a challenge for us, because any team that comes against us, they come against on the right side. And if you look at the match against Arsenal or Saka against them, so against City is the same thing. That same left side is where our own left side, their own right side is where people tend to try to attack us, because they know they can't get past Romero. Romero will kill them. He just sorry. And so that therein lies the so we've got Mr. Udogie, who's away in Udinese. Apparently, he's playing very well. And is doing quite. Is putting a good shift in Udinese, but something tells me that, look, okay, he may be doing that in Udinese, but it's not something that the Premier League, is it? Premier League is a totally different, ball game. What do you guys think, Ben?
Yeah, it's a totally different ball game. To be fair, pardon the pun. He will with his speed. See, this is the thing. We wanted Sessegnon to do well, because with his speed he becomes a different animal, and that's what we really wanted. But his injuries over the past season or so have meant that his speed is gone. He can't run. So I think that Udogie with his speed will be he'll be in revelation when he comes in. Same thing we're going to see with Pedro on the right hand side. That speed is what we need. You remember, if you go back to the days when we had Rose and Walker down the wings, flying down the wings. Okay, we had 2 at the back. We had 4 at the back then. But that was magical to see. And I think we get Udogie coming in with his speed. He should turn over defenses a lot. And it will be a different kettle of fish, simply because they'll be joining up top with the likes of Kane, Son, and Kulusevski to help us do the Conte way. This is what we want. So my belief is that Udogie, when he comes, is going to bench the hell out of. Right now, he's number 2. Sessegnon is number 2. He's going to be number 3 by the time Udogie comes, because Sessegnon will still be behind. What's his face? Perisic, because Perisic gets done. Perisic is slow. I remember in the Arsenal match, he just got done because he's got a fast brain, but his body reacts too slowly. And I think that's a good reason why they played him up top. The last match he played up top, that was good. That's the way he plays for his country as well. He's good up there. He don't need speed up there. He doesn't need the brain, and he has a good brain, so it's good. He could be vying for that space with Son and Danjuma. But I think we should, when Udogie comes back, we'll have him and Sessegnon on the left, and we'll have first choice. Is this guy here? He's not here. Fireman's not here. We'll have first choice Royal and Porro as a backup. That's what it is. That's what it is. He's the first choice. I just had to check whether Fireman was here. If Fireman was here, then.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Ben made me laugh, He made me laugh. I was laughing there when he said that Udogie is the second best left wing back at Tottenham, and he's already under Udinese. So we said that Session's the 3rd best, and Destiny's not even in that club.
I know.
Oh dear. Session's got trouble. But you're right, Mr. Ben. You're right in regards to one thing in regards to these new wing backs that potentially we could have going into next season, and it being a reflection of the Rose and Walker days. I think what was the standout thing with those 2 particular players, Rose and Walker, was their aggression and their positiveness on the flanks, whether defensively or offensively. And I think that's the qualities that Destiny and Pedro Pony will both possess. That aggressiveness that we need, because I don't see that in Sessegnon. I don't see that in Royale. I don't see that in what Doherty was giving us. That positive aggression to win a 50-50.
Doherty was so annoying. The last match he played for us, he was always sending the ball back, and that annoyed me. He'd always just pass the ball back. Oh man.
Yeah, and I think that was what we were lacking a lot in those positions, is that aggression and that forward thinking and that, ready to take a yellow card if you don't win a 50-50 kind of thing like that. That type of aggression that you need, to push back the defense of our opponents.
Yeah. So where does that leave us? So I mean, we didn't quite finish the transfer window on the high, because I think we probably. I mean, if you listen to Paratici. An interview at the end of the transfer window, and he said that it was a building process and that process was going well, and obviously it wasn't going to be built overnight, and over time the club had invested in quite a lot of players, especially if you look at what we've done over the summer and up to now. I mean, it's a continuous process, so it's to be expected that other players will come in over the course of the summer. So my thoughts are that, I mean, we'll probably have another striker in January, a midfielder, and a centre back, and then hopefully Destiny comes back from his loan spell in Italy and takes over on the left wing back position. But overall, if we did a sort of marks over 10 for the transfer window, what would you award, or would be a verdict for how Spurs did in this Spurs in transfer window? A, on the basis that the areas we needed to fill, and B, how the business was conducted. Yinka, do you want to start?
On how the business was conducted, 5 out of 10. For the fact we got it done, but it could have been done sooner, and it could have been there was a bit too much red tape to go through. In regards of the signings, 7. Because it seems that we may have finally answered our right wing back problem. It took about 4 players and 5 go. We've had Trippier go, KWP, Aurier, Royale, Docker. You name the list that we've had in that position since Walker's left. And we may finally, I'm just saying, we haven't seen him play yet, but we may have had that position solved. And that was an important position because our system relies on the productivity of our wing backs. If our wing backs don't play, we don't play. So I think it was important that we covered that position. So I'd say 7 out of 10 in regards to that. And similarly with the Danjuma, he may be the joker in the pack that we need, that unknown quantity that may help us win games. So 7 out of 10 and 5 out of 10.
Okay, that seems like you've been hedging your bets, if you like a bohe. But we'll come back to you in a minute.
Okay,
Ben, what do you think?
Well, I would for going out and getting the players. I think the list was 2 players. It was an attacking midfielder and a right-sided defender, wing back, and we got both of them. So I give them 10 out of 10 for that. Again, because it's January. So for January, 2 players, just like we had last January, we had 2 players. And they set their sights on getting 2 players. They got them 10 out of 10. As far as the way the business went, it wasn't in their hands. To me, this was dragged out by Sporting. it may look Spursy, but it definitely wasn't, because they went out to do the deal. But we learned. I mean, you have to read all sorts of different outlets to get the full picture. But to me, it's all done and dusted now. I'll give them an 8 on that, just because it was drawn out. But I don't think the drawing out was their fault at all. So 10 out of 10 for players, and 8 out of 10 for the way the business was conducted. That's me. And I'm not a Levy man. I'm just a Spurs man. I believe in Spurs.
Hey, come on, you Spurs.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see someone who's transitioning to the dark side.
Darth Vader.
Warming up and yeah. Tell us your view, Chuma.
You guys, you guys already know where I stand now. I've moved over to the dark side of Spurs fandom. And simple. I'm watching a club that, to me, I think the coaching isn't great anymore. It was great last season because you had like 1 week to prepare, and we're out of every cup and everything else. Now that we're facing the fire, he doesn't adapt. That's my opinion. And I still like Antonio Conte. I just don't think he's a fit. That's my thing, is I don't think he's a fit for Spurs. That's my only problem. Because you see the players we have now. I urged Spurs last year to go to a back three, because the players he had, it worked for a back three. But now this season, it works for a back four, in my opinion. It works for a back four, and it will help him. It would change a lot of things for him if he ever went to a back four, but he doesn't play back four systems. The wing back thing and Sessegnon. So I don't disagree that Sessegnon has lost speed, but speed was not the problem. His problem is bravery. Glenn Hoddle has this wonderful thing, and I quote it all the time. Glenn Hoddle has this thing that as soon as he sees a footballer receive a pass and the guy's head is down, that player doesn't know what he's doing. Watch him every time he's on the wing, his head is down, and he only raises it up when he's about to cross, when it's too late. You should have seen your man, spotted your man, and now all you're doing is positioning yourself to put the ball in for your man or go and take a shot. Even when he's about to take a shot in the box, he's been set up by Kane a couple of times. His head's down. So by the time he raises it, the opposing player catches up to him. In my opinion, I think his growth has stopped, regressed, and I think he should be gone. That's my view on Sessegnon. And in terms of the signings, okay. In terms of the business, I thought the business was good. I thought it was like Yinka said, 7 out of 10. I felt they were going for 3 targets, because they said at the end they wanted a centre back. So I felt it was centre back, right wing back, and a forward player. And they got the forward player, they got the right wing back, but they didn't get the centre back. I think if they got in a centre back, like there's a Stefan de Vrij, the Dutch guy at Inter, his contract is running out. He can play central or he can play left side. If they'd gone for someone like him and managed to get him from Inter at this stage, I thought that would have been game changing. But getting Porro and getting Danjuma, same thing what Jinka said. Danjuma is the ace in the pack that no one's thinking of, and he has a chip on his shoulder. The guy's been playing with a chip on his shoulder all his life. He's one of those kind of players. And Liverpool, like the thing on our Nigerian Spurs group is like, we have that running joke about average players, and I've never heard of him, or I've never seen him play, or I never saw Danjuma play. I don't know what he's. And the guy is stellar. Jurgen Klopp wanted him to replace Mane. I know this that it was in every page, but he moved to Villarreal. And then they decided they wanted to get a big name player to replace Mane. They were still talking to Mane at the time as well. So they weren't sure Mane was decided, hey, I need to go. Teams were looking at Danjuma when he was at Bournemouth. The championship was nonsense to him. The Premier League, he scored like 6 goals or something before, but he was getting into it and they got relegated. So he's a very, very good player. Scored in Champions League. That's not anything. In the way they conducted the business, I agree with Ben that it was out of their hands, and now we're seeing a lot of things about Sporting's business because Sporting had so much. So I wouldn't really blame them for how long it took. For me, it's just like, with all due respect, Emerson, I don't call him Emerson. I don't call him Royale. I don't get this Royale thing. I followed that boy for years. He was just Emerson. this royal thing, it irritates me. Brazilians are called their thing, like Emerson, Ronaldo. This royal thing is just a joke for me. So I call him
Straight up, man.
Emerson. Emerson, Emerson, we've known for the last 2 years, is not a wing back. He's a right back. And there's a difference. He's not a wing back. He cannot play wing back. He will never play wing back. He does not have the technical capabilities. He has the engine. We can all see he has the engine. We can all see he's trying, but he is not. He's one of those guys that he's willing to do the work, but he just doesn't have the thing. And you can see it. You don't need anybody to tell you can see it. So if we knew this in the summer, why did we not get rid of Doherty and then probably not buy and just go for a right wing back? Why did we have to wait till January? And I'm happy they've done this move in January, but you could have gotten Porro. That's why I'm where I am now. That's why I'm moving towards the dark side, and I'm now Darth Schumer. That's what I have to say.
This is Comeonyes reviewing the Spurs activity in the transfer window in January. It came to an end, and I mean, is apart from Chelsea and Nottingham Forest, everyone else seems to have had a quiet transfer window. I mean, people did maybe one deal. A lot of clubs didn't do any deal at all, and some people had just loan deals towards the end. I mean, I think in terms of outlay, I think we ended up spending £7 million, if I understand, as in that's what we had to pay out in total in the end, which was remarkable. I mean, considering what Chelsea was spending. I mean, not like we're comparing ourselves to Chelsea, of course, but I mean, we're still in the same market. I mean, I know they're like miles ahead when it comes to money availability and how they deploy their resources. We're not in that comparison game, if you like. But I mean, we have a lot to be that we haven't quite done what we hope to have done in the.
Are you admitting live on ComeonyespursTV that there was a deficiency on the right?
Okay, no, that's why they put.
There's always been.
Is that the same as saying Emerson is not fit for purpose?
No. Okay, so here it is, right? Emerson is not a wing back, as we all know. Emerson is a right back. That's what his natural position is. Has he tried to evolve to improve? Without a doubt, he has. And I mean, if you had a choice of between somebody who was what you might call in quote world class and Emerson, of course you go for someone who would be world class. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, we're seeing areas where he could have done better. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, yes. I mean, there's areas where you could have upgrades on, which I mean, that's Conte telling you that he have Emerson over Doherty says it all for me. I mean, that's the coach telling you what his preference, where his preference lies, and I mean, trust me, a lot of coaches see what we don't see, And if he goes for Emerson, I mean, he must have good reason for going for Emerson in the first place. So yeah, I trust Don Conte. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, I have no doubt whatsoever that he's I mean, okay, granted, there's some areas where you might think that he's a little bit how much of a rigid and fixed in some of his ways of doing stuff, but I think he's doing a very good job with what he's got. And unfortunately, I think if you look at all the results we've had so far that have been negative, 90% of those results haven't had anything to do with tactics or anything. It always had to do with Hugo Lloris. I'm sorry, or one major error or the other. I mean, that's what it had to do with. I mean, and okay, some people might say, okay, fine, maybe the tactics you played led us to be in that position in the first place. But I want to sort of say, look, vast majority of the errors we had this season that have led to us losing matches had one thing or the other to do with Mr. Lloris, Anyway, that's my perspective. Now, coming up, I mean, dovetails beautifully into the City match. We're playing City on Sunday, at home, and the last league was that our last league outing actually? No. So Fulham was the last league outing, wasn't it? But we played, but we seem to be coming back after the reverse at City. We played Fulham, effective performance. We played Preston North End. Okay, decent enough performance, cup game. I mean, and we have Poro coming into the team. Danjuma debut goal. So the sort of positivities getting back into the team. How do you see this match? I mean, from a matchup perspective, are we still underdogs or City favorites, or do we have their number?
Underdogs, and we're reverting back to what we used to do. We have their code. This time, the last match, we went 2-0 ahead in the first half. Second half was just a comedy of errors. And I think that's going to be wiped out. I think that will be wiped out. We got their code, and they'll be sitting thinking that, it's only Spurs. But we're going to show them. Personally, I mean, people might not agree with me, but I think that we're going to do a number on them. And all Pep's going to say was, yeah, well, we beat you, and then you beat us at home. And that's it.
Okay. So you think we can come up with the points on the day? Okay. Fair enough. Chuma, what do you reckon?
Well, I happen to side with Ben in this one. It's like one, Antonio Conte is ill. So you're looking at the players trying to react to the fact that the guy who put so much trust in them is sick. And one, the pressure of him not being on the bench is one as well. So they'll play with more freedom, in my opinion. I think they'll play the last time they played under Stellini, the same thing. There was more freedom. Also trying to prove a point because their manager isn't there. And I don't know. I really think that the worst Spurs can get out of this is a draw. It could be a win or a draw, and that's how I look at it: a win, worse, draw. So,
fighting talk there.
I just don't see Spurs. I don't see us losing. Yeah, I don't see us losing. Honestly, I really don't see us losing. I don't know. I just don't see us losing this game. That's my favorite. I don't see us losing.
Right, this is ComeonyespursTV. If you're joining us for the first time, like our channel, subscribe, share with your network, and leave a comment, and also click on the bell button to get notified anytime we either go live or release a video. We're discussing Spurs action in the transfer window, also looking at the preview of the match against City. Had two perspectives on what they think the outcome will be from Ben and from Chuma. Yinka, what do you reckon?
I am going to side with my right honourable gentleman, Mr. Ben and Mr. Chuma, in regards to the outcome of the game on Sunday. You see one thing here with Totti, when we least expect it is when we turn up. And when I think it's one of these games again, whereby everyone expecting Man City to just run us over again. We lost 4-2 to them before, but I know that we're their kryptonite. For some reason, we are their kryptonite. Yeah? So for some reason, we got their number in some cases. And I do second in regards to them turning up for Don Conte, him being unwell, get well soon, Don Conte. So I think they're gonna have a little bit more for their. We're gonna have a few fresh additions in the squad, and I just think I've got a bit of positivity in regards to us. I could see it still being a seesaw game. I could see goals. I can see mistakes still.
I foresee Danjuma coming on. I don't know why. This is just me. I think he's someone. I don't think they how Premier League defenses know Richarlison already, right? So they can prepare for Richarlison. They don't know Danjuma, and that's the thing about him. That I would bring him on as an impact sub, point.
Well,
I
you
think he'll nick
just
you a
read my
goal,
mind.
get a penalty.
You are on the dark side. You are on the dark side, Chuma, because you just read my mind. Just read my mind. Don't Jedi mind for me, you know. You're on the dark side, I'm telling you. Because if you remember Stevie B? Stevie B, oh, when Steven Bergwijn on his debut at home against Man City, they didn't know how to handle him because he was new to the game. He was completely new to the defences and to English football. And I think that's the advantage that Danjuma may have in this game, where we know Man City's defence can be porous. They're not solid, rock tight, you know, watertight like they've been in years before. They are shipping goals in on the other side. So I think this is an opportunity to get them by surprise again. I also think that it's a shame because I think we're still lacking a little bit on our bench, attacking wise. I think Son has got something to prove that it's not just a one-hit wonder or a two-game wonder, because Son has only turned up for 2 games this season. So I think there might be something in there for Son. And wouldn't it be beautiful if Harry Kane finally got the goal record in this game?
All right, so there's a lot riding on this game.
So, a quick question to the guys. Sorry, a quick question to all of you. Do you think that in the Preston match, Son played with more freedom because there was no Kane?
Yes, because you're centre forward. Son is not a wide guy no more. Son is number 9. He's a centre forward. We know this now. It's just that he cannot play number 9 because Kane is there.
Yeah, Kane. No, but Kane should play behind him. That there should be a way the system is set up where he's more like it's the same problem. This is my opinion, and I put it on.
Jose Mourinho already showed us the blueprint. We just didn't take it. Jose Mourinho showed us already.
It wasn't that even Jose Mourinho showing us. That's the same reason Dele Alli's career ended. Dele Alli's job was running in behind Kane. You remember, up until Son emerged. Dele was the guy running in behind him, and he was brilliant at it. Kane would drop off, he would do it. He would do the same dovetail with Kane. Then all of a sudden, we found out that Son was more efficient than him and more cold-blooded.
Yeah.
So
more clinical, yes.
Pochettino tried to put him back into midfield. Yeah, and he'd lost all his central midfield Gerrard qualities because he's so used to being that guy. And when Mourinho came, I thought Mourinho understood, and Mourinho didn't. That Dele Alli's thing was this: how can you find a way to get him into that position, or he could have been Son's substitute, of course, but you couldn't really drop Dele Alli. But the whole point was that's the thing, and Son's that same guy. Every time I see Son, the problem is they're playing balls to Son's feet, and Son isn't a number 10. But if you play the ball behind the defender and let Son run onto that thing, he will kill people day in, day out.
Correct. He's an assassin. So Son is an assassin now. He's an assassin.
How can Conte say?
You're so right in saying that. You're so right, Chuma, because Son is a final action player now. Before, earlier on in his career, he was a build-up player, but now he's a final action. He's at the last end of the action now to put the ball away.
The Asian Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah. The Asian Cristiano Ronaldo. This is exactly what happened. Cristiano Ronaldo was this wing force that could cut in on his right. Then he now becomes this guy on the edge of the box, inside the box, edge of the box, inside the box. And that's exactly Cristiano Ronaldo's career. His son is similar. So I agree with you 100%.
So it looks like everyone seems to be unanimous in the expectation of the outcome of Sunday's match, and I'm not going to be a party pooper and say otherwise. You know, I have every confidence in those boys. You know, that they will come good for Don Conte and for us the fans. And I think things will begin to take a turnaround going forward. I'm quite optimistic actually, but hey. That's me. They call me Mr. Positivity. The positive crew. Anyway, yeah, so that's where we are. Final thoughts. City or those guys up the road at the close end of the season. What's going to happen?
There's no choice. We've got no choice. I don't see any choice.
Because if we
Yeah,
beat,
it
Liverpool
has to
will
be.
come.
if we beat City, we're helping those guys up the road. I mean, come on.
Yeah, let's beat them. Liverpool will come and help us.
Yeah. Don't worry about them up the road. They will sort that will sort. We have to get our point. Do you know one thing, guys? You know one thing? We're now in the month of February. This is the hardest month in the whole calendar of football because you have the Champions League, you have the FA Cup, you have your league run, all congested into the matter of just 3 or 4 weeks that you have to get it right.
Mhm.
Traditionally, Arsenal have flopped season after season after season in this month. I am not expecting any less from them in February as well. So we have to do our job. Tottenham, last season, we started fixing up in February. It's in February that we started to start our run and start getting our groove back. So I'm expecting that. We can't be giving points away now. That's their own problem. Arsenal will sort themselves out.
Simple.
So did I say Arsenal? Sorry, the others.
Right. So February, decisive month on many levels. Potentially, it gives us the boost that we need to climb up the table, and hopefully, those guys up the road have a bit of a stutter in the process, and we just do our business basically. And the key for us is to keep plugging away and chipping away at the points. And I mean, it's going to be a competitive run to the end of the season because there's so many games left, there's so many twists and turns left, and I think we've had our own fair share of drama so far this season. I think it's time we had a bit of a run of of good fortune, if you like, Or they say fortune favors the brave, If we're brave this season, towards the end of the season, we hopefully reap the reward, Guys, I have to thank you very much for being here. Absolute pleasure having you as always. Final words from you. Should we start with you, Ben?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Sunday. That's all I can say. Looking forward to Sunday. Looking forward to the second half of the season. Looking forward to. I've already invested in some popcorn, so I'll just sit down and relax and eat popcorn and watch how the season unfolds. Because if we get top 4, I'm happy. If we win the Champions League, even happier. If we win the FA Cup and Champions League and get top 4, over the moon. But hey, you got to try and wish these things into manifestation. So that's me. Come on, you Spurs.
Thank you so much. Right, Mr. Yinka.
Wait, hold on. I'm just. Chuma wants me to say that Spurs are going to be very good this Sunday. So what's that, Chuma? It's also going into my brain saying that we are going to remain fast. Chuma's on the dark side, man. He is the Jedi Force, bro. So don't worry. No shaking. No shaking. No shaking. Don't worry, man. We're good. We're good. We'll get together, man.
I wish you 3 points as well.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
No,
Thank
I
Chuma?
Same thought. 3 points this weekend, and yeah, let's see what happens. I think the World Cup has really distorted what the season was meant to be. This is like January in the old season, and yeah, February. I think by joining the dark side, I want to see what the club will do if they can drag me back to the light, because usually when I have no hope for Spurs go on a run. So now I have no hope. I'm just waiting to see out the season, really. And now it's like that's when things might happen. So if it happens, I never said Conte wasn't a good coach. I just felt the fit is not, because of the contract, all these different things are spiking up. So, but I think one thing is we've gone through our injury crisis, and the rest of these teams haven't really, I think, apart from Liverpool. And now Manchester United are going to see it now that Eriksen is out till April. They're going to see who's going to lay those passes. Bruno, who's going to do all that stuff. So us and Liverpool, we've actually gone through our injury problems. Chelsea, well, who are not even really figuring. Newcastle haven't gone through an injury crisis. Yeah, all the people at the top haven't really suffered serious injuries. All you need is 3 key players in Arsenal to go down. Odegaard, Partey, and
Saliba.
and that's it.
Saka.
Yeah, and Saliba, something like that. I'm not wishing it on them though. I never wish bad on players, but if that happens, they don't know how they would cope. Their so-called football hinges on things like Partey playing well. So let's see. But we've gone through ours. and everyone's coming back, and Richarlison's coming back, and we'll be able to rotate a bit more. I think Kane will actually sit down a bit after winning the games early on. He can sit down, and then Richarlison come on. Son can sit down. Danjuma come on. Will still pop. So let's see. Come on, you Spurs weekend.
Thank you so much,
Yes,
guys. Absolutely fantastic. We all look forward to amazing time this Sunday and for the rest of the season. Not bad performance in the transfer window. Everyone thinks we've done so well. Everyone on this panel. I don't know what people outside are thinking, but hey, we would love to hear your comments. Leave your comments if you're watching live. If you're watching afterwards, please leave your comments and like this, and we can always respond to your comments. I look forward to seeing you next week. In the meantime, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
What happened to this thing?
I can see a house behind you.